This haunting photo, posted on Facebook on Thursday, May 26, 2016, captures the tragic final moments of 21-year-old Darren Mitchell's life. Darren lost his life when his truck became submerged during severe floods in Texas, U.S. In a heartfelt Facebook post at 6:29 p.m., he shared a photo from inside his flooded truck with a heartbreaking caption, "All I wanted to do was go home." On Friday morning, Darren's family found his overturned truck in water near Highway 105, but he was not inside. Initially hopeful, they believed he had made it to safety. Despite extensive search efforts by emergency crews using boats and helicopters, no sign of Darren was found. The search had to be called off on Friday afternoon due to another incoming storm. A day later, Darren's body was discovered over a mile downstream from where his truck had been found. Before his tragic fate, he had contacted his family, informing them of being trapped in a raging flash flood on Rocky Creek. Although he reassured them that he had managed to escape the truck, his body was later found, revealing the heartbreaking reality. LaShonda Smith, a witness who saw Darren Mitchell's truck get swept up in the water, said she saw him escape, and then get back inside his truck shortly before it was submerged. And he got out of his truck. He got in the bed of his truck. He got back out, on top of his truck, and then all of a sudden he got back in his truck. And like maybe 10, 15 minutes after he was in his truck, it just flipped. And he topsided into the water, Smith said as she choked back tears. It just disappeared. Once it flipped, you didn't see tires, his truck, nothing. It just tumbled over. Darren was one of the 4 individuals who lost their lives in the floods. Layla Holland, aged 64, tragically died in her home, while Jimmy Wayne Schaefer, 49, and Pierali Rajebi Umatia, 59, both perished in their vehicles during the floods. This is the last picture of Emma with her father, Daniel Brown. On the same day after the picture was taken, Emma shot her father in the abdomen before shooting herself in the head. Daniel survived. Emma died 2 days later in the hospital. The incident occurred on September 20th, 2022, when 12-year-old Emma shot her 38-year-old father at their home in Poolville, Texas, approximately 30 miles from Fort Worth. Authorities revealed that this horrifying act of parricide, which is the deliberate killing of one's own father, mother, or both, was part of a pre-planned murder pact with a friend before turning the gun on herself. Emma, a 7th-grade student who grew up around guns, had plotted to kill her entire family and pets, along with another 12-year-old girl from Lufkin, Texas, though it's unclear how they met. The Parker County District Attorney's Office confirmed that the second girl, whose identity is unknown, was charged with conspiracy to commit murder. A spokeswoman could not provide details about the girl's sentence because of Texas law protecting the identity of youth charged with a crime. They added, the charges were not dismissed. The allegations were pursued in full, and the case was finally settled on March 14, 2023. Emma died 2 days after shooting herself in the head, with police confirming she planned to drive 230 miles to pick up her boyfriend before driving to Georgia. The night of the incident, a dispatch call indicated that after shooting her father in the abdomen, Emma walked down the driveway on foot and was only a few hundred yards before shooting herself in the head. Officers later discovered Emma lying on the dirt road with a handgun under her body. According to a source, her parents were unaware of the second girl's involvement and remain unaware even now. Her father also has an FFL license, which means he can legally store and sell firearms in the family home. Emma also attended a father and daughter dance at Peaster Elementary, where she was a student, though it is unclear if she attended with her father. Daniel was released from the hospital shortly after the incident and is expected to make a full recovery, according to authorities. It remains unclear why the girls wanted to kill their families and run away. Jessica Pebsworth, Lufkin Communications Director, said, "It doesn't matter if they live in a small town or a big city. Things like this can happen, unfortunately. I will say that this case is definitely a time to remind parents that it's very important to know who your children are friends with, whether that's in the classroom, social media apps, Snapchat, TikTok, and then also gaming platforms." This is a still photo from a video of Steven Weber, who swam to his girlfriend in their underwater hotel room while on vacation in Tanzania and proposed to her with a lovely note and a ring. Unfortunately, he died before he could resurface from the water. 40-year-old Steven and his girlfriend, Kenesha Antoine, had been dating for 2 years, after meeting through a mutual friend. In September 2019, the two went to Tanzania, Africa, as part of a birthday trip for Kanisha. They chose to stay at the Manta Resort on Pemba Island, where their room included a unique feature, a submerged bedroom offering breathtaking views of the ocean. Booking a 4-night stay at the resort's underwater room, the cabin was anchored in water approximately 820 feet from the shore. The cost for this extraordinary experience was $1,700 per night, and the room was situated at a depth of around 32 feet below the surface. On the third day of their stay, Thursday, September 19th, Stephen, hailing from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, executed his heartwarming plan. Equipped with a mask and fins, he dived into the water and made his way to the submerged bedroom where Kanisha was inside. Against the cabin's glass window, Stephen held up a heartfelt note that read, "I can't hold my breath long enough to tell you everything I love about you. But everything I love about you, I love more every day." Captured on video, the touching scene continued as Stephen turned the sheet of paper to reveal his proposal. And then he produced an engagement ring from his shorts before swimming out of view. Kanisha, overjoyed, enthusiastically accepted Stephen's proposal and headed to the deck level of the room to meet him. However, to her shock and devastation, Stephen never resurfaced. Despite her efforts to seek help, she was unable to contact resort personnel through phone or radio, and she had to flag down a passing boater to assist in finding Stephen. Sadly, when he was located, he only had a slight pulse, and attempts to revive him with CPR proved unsuccessful. In her Facebook post, Kanisha said, Stephen never got to hear her answer to his proposal, which would have been 1,000,000 times yes. She wrote, "We never got to embrace and celebrate the beginning of the rest of our lives together, as the best day of our lives turned into the worst, in the cruelest twist of fate imaginable. I will try to take solace in the fact that we enjoyed the most amazing bucket list experiences these past few days, and that we were both so happy and absolutely giddy with excitement in our final moments together." This is Agnes, someone who is often active on social media. Unaware of the impending tragedy, she innocently captured these pictures, not realizing they would become her last. On May 11th, 2021, 20-year-old Agnes Akom, also known as Dora, was reported missing to the police. Agnes had left her home on Cricklewood Broadway in London, UK on the morning of May 9th, telling her partner that she was going to work. However, after 2 days of no contact and her unusual absence from social media, her partner decided to report her missing. Agnes, who had been living in the UK for 5 years, worked as a coffin maker and originally hailed from Hungary. She and her partner had moved to the UK together, in search of a new life. In response to her mysterious disappearance, the police launched a missing person investigation and made several appeals for information to locate her. They shared a CCTV image of Agnes, in the outfit she was wearing when she went missing, on their Twitter account. The photo showed her wearing a distinctive white faux fur coat over a white t-shirt with black writing, blue ripped jeans, and white trainers. On May 18th, the police investigating her disappearance arrested a 63-year-old man named Nekulai Paisan from North Acton on suspicion of murder and false imprisonment. Through phone data analysis, the police identified Paisan as someone who had regular contact with Agnes. According to police, it was his actions that made him a suspect, and the resulting investigation led to him being charged. The investigation revealed that Agnes had entered a motor vehicle on Cricklewood Broadway on May 9th, 2021, which was quickly established as belonging to Paisan. This vehicle was then tracked by police to a makeshift home inside a large shipping container, which was situated at North Acton Road in Brent. Further examination of Agnes's phone records and call data indicated regular proximity to a phone belonging to Paisan over a 12-month period, adding to the evidence against him. When officers visited the shipping container on May 18th, they found it secured with several heavy-duty padlocks. The London Fire Brigade assisted in gaining entry, but no one was inside. However, whilst in attendance, Paisan arrived on the scene believing that his container was on fire. He admitted to knowing Agnes and initially said that he had met with her about 2 weeks earlier. He was taken to Wembley Police Station in order to give a witness statement, whilst other officers viewed CCTV footage of the industrial estate to corroborate his account. In the interview, Paisan said that he had actually taken Agnes to his container on the 9th of May 2021, where after a short stay within, he had dropped her at a nearby cash point machine, after which time he had not seen or heard from her. Whilst the CCTV footage confirmed that Paisan and Agnes had entered the container on the 9th of May 2021, it ominously did not show her leaving at any time after that day. As a result of inconsistencies in his statement, when compared with the visual evidence, Paisan was arrested on suspicion of murder and false imprisonment. Subsequent examination of CCTV footage revealed Paisan's movements in the days following Agnes's disappearance. He was seen carrying items from the container to his car before visiting a skip in Neasden Recreation Ground. Inside the skip, officers found Agnes's coat, while a forensic examination of the container discovered blood matching Agnes's DNA. More bloodstains were also found in Paisan's car. Despite the mounting evidence against him, Paisan continued to deny any involvement in Agnes's disappearance. However, on May 23, 2021, he was charged with murder. At this point, Agnes's body had not yet been found. Every piece of information suggested that Paisan had taken her to the area surrounding the recreation ground. Officers with specialist dogs continued with their search, and on the 14th of June 2021, some 36 days after she had last been seen, 2 police dogs gave an indication at a fallen tree. Hidden below a pile of logs and branches, officers found human remains that were later identified as Agnes. A post-mortem examination revealed that Agnes had suffered blunt force trauma to the head, having been struck at least 20 times. These are the chilling final selfies of Semra Aysal, 32, taken on a clifftop just moments before her husband, Hakan Aysal, 41, allegedly lured her to the edge and pushed her off. Hakan was found guilty of murdering his 7 months pregnant wife during their holiday in the popular beauty spot known as Butterfly Valley in Muğla, southern Turkey, in June 2018. Shortly after sharing a joyful selfie together, Hakan brutally pushed his wife off the 1,000-foot cliff in order to cash in on an insurance policy he had taken out on her life. According to the indictment prepared for the crime of deliberate murder against Hakan, it states that he planned his wife's murder by first obtaining a personal accident insurance policy in her name, with a coverage amount of 400,000 Turkish lira, and making himself the sole beneficiary. Prosecutors claim that Hakan deliberately killed his wife by pushing her off the ledge as soon as they were alone, using the 3-hour period they spent sitting on top of the cliff to ensure no one was around. The indictment also notes that Hakan later attempted to claim the insurance payment, but it was declined when news of the investigation came to light. Police became suspicious of Hakan after news reports shared photos of the couple on top of the cliff, which prompted a witness to come forward with video evidence of Hakan's unusual behavior. The footage appeared to show Hakan holding Semra's hand as they headed down the cliff towards the sea, despite her fear of heights. However, as they went further down, they were seen standing behind a rock, gazing out at the Mediterranean. The witness who filmed the video claimed to have seen the couple taking pictures together and had predicted that one of them would fall off the cliff. Recep Sahin, who captured Semra's last moments alive, testified in court saying, "I stopped there to enjoy the view of Kabak Bay with my family. My daughter was filming the scenery with my phone when the Aysal couple came down the slope. We even joked, either this man will throw the woman off or the woman will throw the man. There was no interaction between them." Another witness stated that Hakan appeared unusually calm after the incident. He explained, "While driving, I noticed someone waving at me, so I stopped. Hakan approached and said his wife had fallen down the cliff. We immediately got out of the car and started searching for her, but we couldn't see where she might have landed from our position. We tried to get closer to the edge for a better view, but Hakan didn't come with us. We stayed there until the gendarmerie arrived." Hakan was very carefree and calm, not acting like a man whose wife had just fallen off a cliff. During a hearing, Semra's older brother, Naim Yolku, said, "When we went to the Forensic Medicine Institute to retrieve the body, Hakan was sitting in the car. My family and I were devastated, but Hakan didn't even appear sad. My sister was always against taking out loans, yet we discovered that Hakan had taken loans in my sister's name after her death." Naim also told the court that Semra had a fear of heights, making it illogical for Hakan to take her up a cliff. Hakan denied being responsible for Semra's death, stating, After taking a photo, my wife put the phone in her bag. Later, she asked me for the phone. I got up and then heard my wife scream behind me as I walked a few steps away to retrieve the phone from her bag. When I turned back, she was not there. I did not push my wife. Hakan attempted to challenge the verdict, claiming that he had been mentally disturbed. However, medical experts from the 4th Specialization Department of Forensic Medicine dismissed his claims. As a result of the evidence and testimonies presented, Agnes Akom was sentenced to a minimum of 30 years in prison for the murder of his pregnant wife. This is the final photo of Nirupama Prajapati, taken by one of her friends while they were enjoying the scenic view near a popular waterfall in India. On January 3, 2021, Nirupama and her friends went on a picnic in the Sundargarh district of Odisha near Kanakund, a well-known spot for picnicking. While she was capturing selfies on the rocky edge, tragedy struck as she slipped and fell into the Ib River that flowed across the region. One of her friends managed to capture a video of the horrifying incident. In the footage, Nirupama can be seen standing on the precarious edge of the turbulent waters, attempting to capture the perfect selfie. Tragically, a man climbing the rocks adjacent to her, also aiming for a selfie, lost his footing and accidentally knocked her into the water. Amidst the roar of the water, Nirupama's screams could be heard as she fought to maintain her balance. Despite managing to hold on for a moment, she tragically succumbed to the force of the rapids, disappearing beneath the relentless current. Her lifeless body was discovered the following day, after an exhaustive 22-hour search conducted by the fire department and her family. They found her remains nestled in a stone crevice within a deep section of the river, approximately a quarter-mile downstream from the location where she fell. This devastating incident draws attention to the escalating trend of selfie-related deaths, particularly in India. A comprehensive study conducted in 2018 revealed that there were 259 reported selfie deaths in 137 incidents worldwide between October 2011 and November 2017. The victims, on average, were 23 years old, with male deaths outnumbering female deaths by a ratio of about 3-to-1. The highest number of fatalities occurred in India, followed by Russia, the United States, and Pakistan. This is the final photo of contractor Jose Valenzuela, taken while he was repairing a compromised sewer line at a home near the intersection of Voorhees and 3rd Streets in Holdenville, Oklahoma. Unfortunately, shortly after this picture was captured, the trench collapsed. In the image, Valenzuela appears as a dedicated and passionate individual who takes pride and finds joy in his work. Valenzuela moved to Oklahoma in 1997 and had been living in Holdenville for 15 years. He was an employee of the Dawson Does It Plumbing Company. On April 10, 2023, at around 3:45 p.m., he and other contractors were replacing a broken sewer line when the trench caved in, trapping Valenzuela at the bottom. For 9 long hours, he remained trapped in a trench that was 12 feet deep. Emergency crews from various agencies, including the trench and evacuation rescue teams from the Seminole and Ada fire departments, responded to the scene. At the time that we got there, we were obviously trying to rescue him. At one point, we realized that it was no longer a rescue attempt and was a recovery, said Chief Kyle Lenning, Holdenville Police Department. Lenning also mentioned that the rescue effort was complicated due to the presence of active gas pipelines, water mains, and other pipelines in the trench. That prevented equipment and things from getting in there safely, possibly rupturing them, he said. Valenzuela's body wasn't recovered until 11:20 p.m. On May 18, 2023, at around 8:15 p.m., a 41-year-old man named Casey Rivara was driving his children home after their swim practice. During their journey, they noticed a mother duck and her ducklings struggling to cross a busy intersection. Casey, being a kind-hearted person, parked his car at the intersection of Park Drive and Stanford Ranch Boulevard in Rocklin, California, and got out to help the ducks safely cross the road. He successfully guided them to the safety of the curb, and the people around applauded his act of kindness. A 12-year-old witness named William Wimsat even took pictures of the rescue on his cell phone. As Casey was returning to his car, a tragic accident occurred. Out of nowhere, a car driven by a 17-year-old girl hit and killed Casey. William said, "I didn't see the car actually hit him. All I remember is the sound, and then seeing him flying across the intersection." William vividly remembered seeing Casey's shoes and one sock in front of their car. William's mother, who had been grateful for Casey's good deed just moments before, got out of her car and comforted Casey's children, ages 11 and 6, who were sitting in his parked car and, unfortunately, witnessed the collision. William said, "He was the only person to get out of the car and try and help them, and probably the nicest person in the entire area. It's not fair." Another 12-year-old also witnessed the tragedy. He returned to the intersection with flowers and several rubber ducks. The Rockland police stated that the 17-year-old driver stayed at the scene of the accident and is fully cooperating with the investigation. As of now, she faces no charges in connection with the incident.